Good morning. For 25 years, I've been launching digital services. Back in 1991, I launched Star TV in Hong Kong, all over Asia, bringing digital television to all of Asia. And since then, I've launched the world's first mobile video services on mobile phones. I've launched internet gaming platforms and some of the largest live online education programs in the world. And I've learned something amazing that I want to share with you. The pace and scale of these deployments is accelerating, it's expanding, it's increasing. Every business in the world now realizes that they need to migrate to digital services, but they don't all know how to do it. And they need your help, and that is a great opportunity for every company in this room. If you think of all the changes we've experienced in the past 10 years, you might say we live in an age of wonders. Really, modern miracles like that smartphone in your pocket. I consider it an age of digital wonders because software is transforming the world around us. Take, for instance, an idea that people thought was improbable or impossible, the robot vehicle. Just 5 years ago, this seemed like a preposterous idea. Today, it's reality. Robot vehicles are on the road in California, Nevada, Michigan, and Florida. By next year, they will be in 33 cities around the world. It's not just Google that's doing this. Because of Google's entry into automotive, every automotive manufacturer in the world now has an aggressive program to develop artificial intelligence software for their vehicles. And just last week, Tesla downloaded new software to their cars that makes them autonomous. Software is really changing this traditional automotive industry. Robotics are starting to show up in just about every field around. We have robot restaurants in China and in California. There's a robot hotel in Tokyo, staffed entirely by robots. And in Berlin, you can order a drink from a robot bartender. Robots used to be confined to the factory floor. They were dangerous. But today, we trust robots with our lives. Increasingly, we rely on software made manifest in machines. One way to think about the changes that are happening is this. Until fairly recently, software models existed on computers. It was something you would develop on a computer. You'd take a business process and you'd replicate it in software. It lived on a computer. Maybe it would live on the internet. But increasingly, these software models are now operating in the real world around us. They're extending into the real world. They're reshaping the real world. I believe that the information economy is reshaping the world that we live in. We're redefining society in terms of software. This represents a great opportunity. If you wonder where this began, you can think about it this way. There are three kinds of connections that have reshaped the world. The first one is something everybody in this room is very familiar with. That's connecting one computer to another. The internet, back in 1968, with the launch of ARPANET, and then gradually the development of the internet protocols. By 1982, we had the fundamental basics of the internet available to us. And 25 years ago, we introduced the World Wide Web. But that was just the beginning. The next change, the next connection is one that the companies in this room know a great deal about. That's connecting computers to mobile devices. And we're still living through this great transformation. Every year, we add another 500 million new users using smartphones to connect to the internet for the very first time. We now can bring all the world's knowledge to whatever context we're in because of connecting computers to mobile devices. So that process is the second connection, but I promised you three, and the third connection is the biggest one of all. That's the idea of connecting computers to everything in the world. On my smartphone, I have this app. It allows me to control the lighting, the electricity, the air conditioning, and the heating in my home. I can control the AC in my home in Los Angeles from here in Bali. And that's just one example of thousands of apps that connect the smartphone to other devices, to smart devices. I'm talking, of course, about the Internet of Things. And we're moving very rapidly into this world. Very soon, we're going to have computers that we can wear on our eyeglasses, on our wristbands, our wristwatches. Shortly after that, we'll have tattoos, temporary tattoos that act as a computer, or virtual computers that can be projected on our skin. Even implantable computers that can be implanted into body tissue. Scientists have developed ingestible computers that you can swallow that measure body chemistry as they pass through your system. And soon, the computers that we wear on our bodies will connect to devices and appliances around us, like this Nest thermostat, or this Withings bathroom scale, or smart locks that recognize you when you come home and automatically open. This isn't science fiction. These are all products that exist that are available today. We'll soon be used to the idea of wearing devices that communicate with other devices, hybrid systems like this wristband that you can wear that controls an autonomous drone that will follow you when you do active sports. And that's not all. We're starting to build whole environments that are computers, wall-sized computers, like this giant flat-screen display at the Cleveland Museum of Art in Cleveland, Ohio. It's one of the world's largest touchscreen displays, and it's magical to watch young children run up to it. They instinctively know what to do. They touch the wall, they can move objects, they can zoom, they can pinch. They understand that this is a computing environment that they're inside. We have building-sized computers like this robotic warehouse from Amazon. And of course, our motor vehicles have many computers. A luxury vehicle today has 100 computing systems on it. And robot vehicles are basically giant rolling smartphones. They're gigantic computers themselves. They expect there to be 200 million connected cars by 2020. And those cars, as they pass through our cities, will be speaking to intelligent systems around them, like these Wi-Fi-enabled LED lights, street lights. More than 50 cities in the world are installing smart lighting systems right now. Eventually, you can imagine that the entire city will become a canvas for computing. We're going to be living in a computing environment. Very soon, everything that can be connected will be. Whatever can be connected will be. You have to imagine a universe of devices that wake up and begin to talk to each other and talk to us and tell us about what they're processing. Think of it in this scale. This idea that the phone is how we connect. The interface, the way we bind and communicate, is the mobile phone. Our phone is the link to the Internet of Things. Our phone is like a remote control for a world of intelligent objects. And we're deploying this on a scale that is unprecedented. This is the largest telecommunications deployment ever in history. We begin with hundreds of millions of computers on the internet, and they're talking to billions of mobile devices. And very soon, there will be tens of billions of smart devices on the Internet of Things. And shortly after that, sometime in the next 10 years, there will be trillions of sensors in the environment around us. That is a gigantic scale deployment. That's the opportunity that lies ahead for every company in this room. And along the way, we're going to generate enormous amounts of data. We're already doing it. We're generating what the economist calls a data deluge. In 2010, we crossed an important threshold, the zettabyte threshold. Previously, we measured data in the form of exabytes and petabytes. But we generated so much data in 2010 that we needed a new word, a zettabyte. A zettabyte is a million gigabytes of data. We generated more data than ever in history, but that was just the beginning. By 2014, that number had quadrupled to 4 zettabytes. Now, the company that compiles this information is IDC. They publish a report each year called Data Universe. And a few years ago, they published a report that projected that we would generate 35 zettabytes of data by 2020. But then a year later, they came out with a new report, and they said we were wrong. We underestimated. We're going to generate 40 zettabytes of data by 2020. And then last year, they published a new report, and they said, actually, we didn't quite get that right. We were wrong. We're going to generate 44 zettabytes of data. That's a 40-fold increase in the amount of data that we generate. A 40-fold increase in just 1 decade, and that's just the beginning. We are about to live in a world inundated with data. Many companies would say that they're already there and they need help to process all that information. No wonder the pundits and experts tell us that data is the new oil. It's like an unlimited resource, a natural resource that gushes forth. Information is something that can be harnessed by companies to optimize their business process, to predict what consumers are going to do next. But that's not all. That's not all. There's something even more magical that can happen with data. We can start to replace physical things with information. We've already begun this process. It's called dematerialization, dematerialization into software, or dematerialization into knowledge. I call it vaporization, because we're making physical objects disappear in a puff of smoke. We've already vaporized books. Amazon sells more ebooks than physical books, hardbound or softbound, combined. We vaporize music. Streaming music services generate more revenue than any other form of music. We vaporized games. The mobile game business is now a $30 billion business and growing. And it has totally transformed the economics of publishing games. And it's also transformed the design of games as well. And right now, the television business is being vaporized. My friends in the TV industry don't like it when I say this, but it's a fact. Consumers are migrating en masse to OTT services, over-the-top video services that stream to any device at any time, whatever they want to watch, whenever they want to watch it. That's a gigantic shift, and it's going to transform the $500 billion TV business, and that is an opportunity for every telco in the world. And with Huawei and Huawei's partners, it's possible for you to introduce these services as well. This is a gold rush. When I say the word vaporize, what I mean is we're turning physical things into pure information, into downloadable software. You see, information is usually encoded into something physical, like a book or a disk. But now with mobile devices and the mobile internet, information can be unbound. It's turned into vapor. It's like atmosphere. It's information that surrounds us like atmosphere, freely available to us at any time, in any context. And this totally transforms the economics of the content business. Take, for instance, maps. Remember maps? Maps used to be a good business. There were companies like Falk Publishing that published maps. When you came to a new city like Bali, the first thing you would do at the hotel is ask for a map so you could find your way around. Well, we don't do this anymore. It's a habit we don't have anymore because our mobile phone has much better maps built into it. These maps are great because they tell you exactly where you are in the language of your choice, and they tell you where you're going next. An entire generation today is growing up with smartphones. This generation will never know what it means to be lost in a foreign city because they have smartphone maps available to them. And the maps don't just show you where you are or where you're going. They reveal a layer of invisible data that surrounds us, and they make it visible for us. They make it possible for us to understand the context that we're in. That's far better than a traditional paper map. And that's not all. Our smartphone apps are getting smarter. They're getting smarter because they're starting to use information that we tell the phone in our text messages, in our calendars, among our friends and social networks. It starts to know our preferences, and so that smartphone in your pocket can now predict what you're going to want to do when you arrive at your destination. We're transforming the way people operate, the way people behave in society. We're transforming them with software. It's not just maps that are being transformed. It's not just music and media that's being transformed. We're also vaporizing hardware. I know that sounds crazy, but this is a fact. 15 years ago, this RIM BlackBerry pager was considered a smartphone because it comprised the functionality of 4 different devices into a single device. By 2008, Apple had replicated the functionality of several consumer electronics devices into a single smartphone. By 2010, a standard Samsung smartphone absorbed the functionality of more than 25 consumer electronics devices. You just didn't need to carry around cameras and chargers and batteries anymore because you had that functionality on your phone. And if you didn't like the app that came with the phone, you can delete it and replace it with another one, usually for free. This process is not done. It continues today. This is the year where we're going to replace keys, credit cards, identity cards, access cards. Everything in your wallet is about to be vaporized. 2 weeks ago, I checked into a hotel in San Francisco, and this is the key card they gave me. This is the front and back of the key card they gave me when I checked in. It says, "My days as a key are numbered." They're numbered because they're trying to get me to switch over to the mobile app. They want me to pair my mobile phone when I check in with NFC, near-field communication, so that my smartphone can now serve as a key when I go to my room. I simply have to pass my smartphone over the door, and the door will unlock. It'll recognize me. And that's just the beginning. The next step for this hotel and all other hotels is going to be to reconfigure the room to my preferences so that all of my services on the cloud, my favorite streaming music, my favorite streaming video, my photos, my data, my documents, will all be available to me in that room. And in this way, this hotel chain will turn the room from a physical product into a digital service, and that'll increase my loyalty to this particular chain. You see, as goods become information rich, they lose the characteristics of physical products, and they take on entirely new characteristics as digital services. A great illustration of this are car-sharing services like Uber and Lyft. They make it possible for us to have transportation on demand without the need for ownership. We are literally vaporizing car ownership. We're replacing ownership with an app, on your phone with pure information. Airbnb is doing something very similar with hotels. Airbnb now offers more than 1 million properties in 30,000 cities around the world, and yet Airbnb doesn't own any hotels. They don't own any real estate. They don't have any hospitality staff on the payroll. Airbnb has an app on your mobile phone that makes it possible for you to find a room night. And Airbnb's valuation is greater than all but 3 of the largest hotel chains in the world. Airbnb has vaporized the hotel business. Whatever can be vaporized will be. Education and universities are being vaporized. Thousands of startup companies around the world now offer education on demand, streaming to all digital devices for free. And these are services designed to scale to planetary level, millions of simultaneous learners. Money will be vaporized. We spend more and more time in a digital environment, and we need a digital currency, and that's where Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies fit in. Even human labor is going to be vaporized. That's really what's happening with robotics right now. Robotics is the substitution of human labor with information. Labor used to be something that a worker possessed. Today, labor is an app. It's something that can be downloaded like an MP3 track to a machine. This is a sweeping transformation. You're probably wondering right now, well, where will this process stop? The answer is it won't stop. It will continue going through every sector of the economy until it's transformed the world. We are reshaping the world, and we're recasting it in terms of software. Last year, Apple told us that there are 1.3 million apps available in the Apple iTunes App Store. 1.3 million apps. That's 1.3 million things that used to be sold as a physical product at retail. Today, they're available for free to download to a mobile phone. And the process doesn't stop with 1.3 million. We add more than 1,000 apps a day, 40,000 new apps a month. And of course, it's not just limited to consumer-facing applications. The cloud represents the vaporization of business infrastructure. And the cloud is a great opportunity for business. It's a great opportunity for every company in this room. Take, for instance, these businesses. They're very diverse. Companies like Netflix, Dropbox, Foursquare, Pinterest, Spotify. Hundreds of millions of people use these services every week. These services are very different, but they all have one thing in common. They all run on Amazon Web Services. They're all riding on Amazon's cloud. Amazon recently revealed that Amazon Web Services is their most profitable business unit, and they expect to generate $6 billion of revenue this year. And Amazon's not the only company. Microsoft has also given guidance that they're going to generate about $6 billion of revenue this year. And of course, IBM, Oracle, Google, and every company that can get into cloud services is racing to get there. The cloud is a business accelerant. The cloud frees companies from investment in infrastructure and IT and allows them to focus on their expertise, marketing and managing customers. And cloud services are a great illustration of the digital services of the future. And so in this way, you can start to see how software is redefining the world around us. The information economy is reshaping the world. And we're doing this on a planetary scale. The telco is not immune to this process. Your business, too, must change. You must evolve from a utility provider of communications to a digital service provider. What does that mean? Well, it means you're going to have to go through a pretty significant shift in how you operate your business. You'll have to shift your focus from running a proprietary network to providing services that span the public internet. You'll have to shift from a focus on hardware and physical infrastructure to a focus on software and digital infrastructure. You'll have to shift your focus from the products that generate 90% of your revenue today towards digital services of the future that will generate your revenue in the years to come. And telcos are going to have to evolve away from a closed billing system to an open, distributed e-commerce platform. That's a giant shift, and it's going to be a wrenching transformation. You may need help from partners like Huawei and their network of partners to do it. But the telcos know one thing, one very important thing. Because you're telecommunications companies, you know that the value in your network doesn't reside in the physical infrastructure. It doesn't reside in the switch. It doesn't reside in the base station. It resides in the switchboard, the exchange. At the heart of every telco is an exchange. And every internet business that's been built on the telecommunications infrastructure has at its core an exchange. Whether it's Amazon or Alibaba, whether it's Google or Yandex, all of these companies are a digital switchboard, connecting people to the things that they seek. Switchboards like social networks that connect people to people. Switchboards like search engines that connect people to information. Switchboards like ad networks that sell or market human attention and human identity. The internet is different from all previous mediums because it consists of a transactional marketplace. When you take a switchboard and you add a billing system to it, you've now created a market for digital services. And when you take that market and add APIs and tools, you've now created a digital platform for innovation that other partners can come and use and innovate on top of your platform. And if you foster those companies and you guide them and you make it possible for them to become profitable, well, then you've created a thriving ecosystem. And this is the key to success in digital services. Focus on going from the switchboard to the market, to the platform for innovation, to the ecosystem. The most successful companies on the internet today understand this process very well. They have millions of partners in their ecosystem. Nobody can manage millions of partners. No one can do that. So instead, these companies focus on 4 sets of tools, 4 simple sets of tools. Tools for content creation, content discovery, content monetization, and content consumption. If you consider the most valuable company on earth, Apple, it maps exactly to this diagram. They have software tools for creation. They have tools for discovery, artificial intelligence, and Siri to help people find, discover, and share content. Tools like the App Store to monetize content. And of course, Apple makes the most gorgeous devices in the world for content consumption. But it's not just Apple. You could map Google to this, Microsoft, Amazon. Every leading internet company operates this way. They manage their ecosystem with these sets of tools. And when it comes to data and the Internet of Things, it's the same set of tools, different labels. Instead of content creation, it's data generation. Instead of content discovery, it's data access. But it's the exact same 4 quadrants. What these companies understand is that with the Internet of Things, they need to extend their ecosystem out to all of those new devices. That's why Apple and Google have focused on building toolkits for the Internet of Things. It extends their software hegemony out to other devices. They see this gigantic scale deployment, and they wish to extend their software across all of it. They want to build software above the level of a single device, above the level of a single network. Software that unifies and manages all of those billions and billions of devices. And you can do it too, because you have partners in every part of the world. You have partners in your region who wish to be in this space. They wish to compete in this space, but they need your help to do it. And if you wish to launch a digital ecosystem and become a digital service provider, you can do it too. And you're going to hear a lot about that from the other speakers today, because Huawei has great solutions for you. Just ask yourself these 3 questions. What part of my business consists of information, and how might I liberate that information and put it on the open internet? How can my product become a digital service? And what part of my business is an open platform for collaboration? And remember, whatever can be vaporized will be. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm Robert Tercek, the author of Vaporized, and I welcome you to this great event. Thank you. Thank you.